Shalom, shalom, shalom. Israel coming back at you with another Sunday morning session, live stream. Where I'd like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai's brother Zabayella.
Brother Cosmo.
All right, coming back at you, like I said, with a live stream, another Sunday morning session, going into different various topics. Lord willing, we can start touching on some history soon. But just going into different topics through the Spirit, Shalaki. Right, this morning we're going to be going into: are you a shepherd or are you a follower? Are you a shepherd or are you a follower? What does that mean? I mean, all of our forefathers were shepherds. All of our forefathers tend to the flock. We got to tend to the flock. I mean, we got to tend to the sheep. Shalom, Vernon. Shalom, Princess Nakaya. Right, Shalom, Williams, Evas Branch. Shalom, shalom, shalom. All right, are you a shepherd or are you a follower through the Spirit? All right. Let me pull this up real quick and get the definition. All right, shepherd. What does that mean? All right, what does that mean to be a shepherd? Shalom. If I say Louis, shalom, my brother. And then Shemaiah, shalom, shalom. All right. What is the definition of a shepherd? All right. So when you go into the definition of a shepherd, it says a person who tends and rears sheep, right? Tend as a shepherd, guide or direct in a particular direction. So our job is to guide what? Guide our people, guide ourselves with the law, statutes, commandments in a particular direction. All right. Hey, the Lord guides us. The Lord's a shepherd, right? He guides us in our particular direction. What is that direction? The kingdom. Right? Synonyms: guide, conduct, usher, convoy, marshal, steer. Right? We have to steer people to the truth. We have to steer people to the righteousness, right? Being on the righteous path, lead, right? What else? See some more definitions. Carefully manage, right? Resources or an organization. You got to know how to manage. The Lord put you in management. I'm gonna start saying that, man. If you in the truth, the Lord put you in management. So you may not have made management at your job, right? There may be upper people above you. They may just tell you what to do all day. You just probably pack boxes, whatever the case may be. You just do as you're told. But in truth, the Lord said, okay, you're a leader, man. Right? It doesn't matter in what camp or congregation you in. They may have you as a soldier, officer, vanguard. If you're in the truth, you're a leader, man. Prospect. If you're in this thing, the Lord said you're a manager now. You got to manage the sheep. You have to guide or direct in a particular direction. And that's what we were called to do. Is to guide and direct our brothers and sisters in a particular direction because they lost out here, man. Right now, I got this other definition. Follower. Right? Follower. Hold on. Shalaki King, I'm on the live right now. I'm on the live right now. I'm gonna call you back. I got you. So, follower. What does it say? An adherent or devotee of a particular person, cause, or activity, a person who moves or travels behind someone or something. So, right? So we followers in this because we follow righteousness. We follow the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. We follow Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. Right? A great follower is going to be a great leader. Right? A great follower is going to be a great leader because we follow the Most High. We follow these laws. Right? And we have to also be a shepherd and steer our people to these law, statutes, commandments. Right? Let me get this up real quick in the book of 1 Timothy, I believe. All right. We have to follow righteousness. All right. I believe I'm on 1 Timothy chapter 6. Let me see if that's what I want. All right. Let me see if this is what I want. This is what I want. This 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 11. But thou, O man of God, leave these things and what? And follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, meekness. So if you want to lead, you have to follow after righteousness. You have to follow after godliness. Right? You got to have that faith. You got to have love, patience, and meekness. And guess what? The law, statutes, and commandments given from Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah teaches us that. Right? So we can guide and direct others in a particular direction. You got it, King. Can you hear me? Okay, you may be frozen. I'm going to go to Genesis chapter 46. Let me start at verse 31. All right, this is Genesis chapter 46. I'm going to start at verse 31. All right, and it says, Genesis chapter 46 and verse 31, and Joseph said unto his brethren and unto his father's house, I will go up and show Pharaoh, right, and say unto him, my brethren in my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, are come up unto me, and the men are shepherds. So even from the days of old, we were as shepherds. We were leaders. We tended to the sheep. Our forefathers reared sheep, right? I mean, that was our job. That was our custom. That's how we made our made ends meet through the spirit. We were shepherds. For their trade, right? Our jobs have been to feed cattle. That was our job. We got to feed the sheep. We got to feed the cattle. We do that today. And they have brought their flocks and their herds and all that they have, man. So that's what the Lord commanded us to do, is to be shepherds. In our trade, our jobs are to what? Are to feed cattle, man. Right? That's been our occupation. Right? It says, and it shall come to pass when Pharaoh shall call you and shall say, what is your occupation? That you shall say, thy servants' trade have been about cattle from our youth even unto now. Yeah, even when you first came into this truth, right? You started learning how to manage. As soon as you came into this truth, you wanted to give somebody else the truth. As soon as you came into this truth, you wanted to break it down to your mom. You wanted to break it down to your aunt, your cousin, your brother. You immediately wanted to tend to the cattle. You immediately wanted to feed the sheep. That was in your spirit. Unless another person kind of went through this, but I don't know a person that came into this truth and went to hold it on to themselves. Oh, I got the truth. I ain't gonna give this to nobody. That's weird, right? If you got the truth, you want to give it to you want to make haste to teach your brother and your sister, right? And it says, both we and also our fathers, that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination to the Egyptians. And they don't like how we lead. These other nations, they hate that we know the Lord called us to be leaders, right, through the Spirit. All right, let's go back. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse number 11. Right? The book of 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse, actually, go to Jeremiah 6 and 16. Because these are the things that our forefathers have done to please the Most High. Right? This is Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 16. Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths. Where is the good way, and walk therein? So we have to walk therein. We have to be like our fathers. And ye shall find rest unto your souls, but they said we will not walk therein. So we want to be like our fathers. So let's see what our fathers did as shepherds, or let's see their occupations and their trades. Right? I'm going to the book of 1 Samuel chapter 16. Right? And verse number 11. This is 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 11. And Samuel said unto Jesse, actually, we start at verse number 8. And it says, start at verse 6. And it came to pass when they were come that he looked on Eliab and said, surely the Lord's anointed is before him, right? Because Samuel went to go about to find the Lord's anointed, right? Among the sons of Jesse. And it says, but the Lord said unto Samuel, and it came to pass when they were come that he looked on Eliab and said, surely this the Lord's anointed before him. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. Yeah, the Most High, he doesn't care if you 6'6", right, with 250 pounds, right? The Lord doesn't care. You can lift rocks and you can run a 4.4. You 6'6", 250 pounds that run a 4.4. Right, man, today will say, man, that's a one-time generational athlete right there, right? But the Lord doesn't care about all of that. The Lord cares about your heart, right? And it says, verse 12, because you can be a man, but you're not able to lead other individuals. And it says, verse 11, and Samuel said unto Jesse, I'll start at verse number 8. Then Jesse called Abinadab and made him pass before Samuel. He said, neither have the Lord chosen these. Then Jesse made Shammah to pass by. He said, neither hath the Lord chosen this. Again, Jesse made 7 of his sons to pass before Samuel, and Samuel said unto Jesse, the Lord have not chosen these, right? So all 7 of his sons passed by. He said, the Lord hasn't chosen these, right? Verse 11, and Samuel said unto Jesse, are here all thy children? And he said, there remaineth yet the youngest of them all, the least of them all. And behold, he keepeth the sheep, right? So our forefathers, King David, he kept the sheep. That was his occupation. That was his job, right? He kept the sheep through the spirit. And Samuel said unto Jesse, send and fetch him, for we will not sit down if he come thither. So the Lord chose the youngest. Like I said, he didn't look on his stature, man. Right? He chose the youngest. Well, some people will call the least. And guess what he was doing? He was keeping the sheep. Verse 12, and he sent and brought him in. Now he was ready and with all of a beautiful countenance, goodly to look to. And the Lord said, arise and anoint him, for this is he. King David kept the sheep, bro. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, they kept the sheep. Adam, right? Seth, Abel, they kept the sheep. That was their jobs, man. Right? They were leaders. You got it, King, if you got a precept.
You go to the book of John, chapter 10, and start at verse number. You could just get to the point. Start at verse 11.
You got it.
This is John chapter 10 and 11. It says, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. So Yahushua, right? He's the good. He's a shepherd, right? He's a leader of his people, right? So everything you see him doing, hey, that's what we got to be doing, right? That's what we got to do as leaders, right? Because you got people that just say, if we keep the commandments, that should be enough, right? I don't need to lead my people. I mean, what kind of brother are you? What kind of sister are you to be saying something like that? Right? Because when you keep the commandments, you're by default leading your people by being a light. But if you're not keeping the commandments, you're not being an example, right? A leader is just an example, right? Somebody that people got to look to, right? To have some kind of motivation, to have something to, push them, right? You can't just be somebody just trying to stand off to the side, just trying to be robbing, right? And it says the good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep, right? You got to be willing to die for your people. Right? You gotta be willing to make your body a living sacrifice for your people. You gotta be willing to put your life on the line for just for your people, right? For the sheep, right? It says, but he that is in a hireling and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming and leaveth the sheep and fleeth, and the wolf catcheth him and scattereth the sheep. But only somebody that say, I don't gotta leave my people. That's not a commandment. I don't gotta do that. I could just do me. I could be solo dolo and don't gotta worry about nobody but me, myself, and I. Right? That I mean, you just letting your people. You're gonna let your people get destroyed. You see the destruction coming. You see the famine on the rise. You see World War III on the rise. You see pestilence on the rise. Right? You see destruction just coming towards your people. And you just don't say nothing. You don't lead by example. Then you just wicked at that point. Right? The Lord called you. He called you a hireling. Right? He says, "Seeth the wolf coming and leaveth the sheep and fleeth, and the wolf catcheth them and scattereth the sheep." The hiring fleeth because he is a hireling and careth not for the sheep. Because you don't care for your people. You don't care about the state of the flock. Or you don't care if they gonna survive or not. You just in it for yourself. That's why you got a lot of people that don't go out and teach. That's why you got a lot of people that scoff at brothers that go out and teach. Because they can't do it. Right? They rather just sit back, scoff at doctrine all day, but not lead their people. And show the people that need to understand this truth how they supposed to live. Right? Let's go to the book of Philippians, chapter 3 and verse 17. Because even Paul said this. Paul said, hey, we got to be an example. Right? It's the book of Philippians, chapter 3 and verse number 17. It says, brethren, be followers together of me, and mark them which walk so as ye have us for an example. Right? So Paul was an example. The men that followed after Paul, they were an example. Right? So you can't just sit around and just say, it's all about me. It's all about what I got going on. Because you got a family. If you have a family, you have to lead your family. And that's a part of loving your brother as yourself. right? Caring about the church, right? Being an example unto them and leading them in righteousness. And that's something you should be praying for every day. Leading for righteousness and sincerity and in the spirit of meekness, right? But you got it up.
That's right. You got to lead in the spirit of meekness and humility. And if you don't, the Lord will cast you down. If you don't lead in humility and righteousness and meekness, the Lord will utterly destroy you. These are the judgments of the Most High. Right, I'm going to Sirach chapter 10 just real quick. Let's get that. Right? This Sirach chapter 10 and verse 13, because ultimately that comes from pride. Men wants to be exalted and men wants to be lifted up. But the Lord would destroy you for your pride if you get too prideful, because you will forget the Most High. Right? You start to think like Esau. Right? It's just only you, and you got yourself there. Right? Nobody else helps you. Right? I ain't asked for no handouts. That's how Jake think in the world. Right? For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination. Therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. Verse 14, the Lord have cast down the thrones of proud princes and set up the meek in their stead. Right? Because what happened to King Saul? He got prideful. Right? What happened to Nebuchadnezzar? He made him eat grass. He made Nebuchadnezzar bow down and eat grass, man. I mean, go outside and look at the grass. That's what King Nebuchadnezzar was eating, right? He tried to make everybody forced our forefathers to serve his gods, making the fire 7 times hotter, and then the Most High had him eat some grass, right? You had a lot of different kings that was passed down, man, right? And because why? They were proud, right? They were proud in heart. Right? Let me go to verse 15. The Lord hath plucked up their roots of proud nations and planted the lowly in their place. And that's what the Lord will continue to do. Whether you're a brother in this truth, whether you think you got certain rank, right? Whether it doesn't matter. The Lord will pluck you up by the roots. And we're trees. I think we went over that yesterday. All right, we're trees through the Spirit, and the Most High will pluck you up by your roots, and he will plant somebody else in your place. The Lord overthrew countries of the heathen, right, and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth. This is the type of God that we serve. So being proud is the least thing that you want to do. Being proud is the last thing you want to do, man. All right, the Lord's not dealing with prideful people. Right, let me go to the book of Luke, chapter 17. Actually, is this what I want? Actually, that's okay. Right, let me go to Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 6. Actually, Proverbs, chapter 16 and 18. Right, get one more on being proud. This Proverbs, chapter 16 verse 18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Right, and guess what? They say the higher you are, the bigger the fall. Right, the higher you are, the higher you're exalted, the bigger the fall. You can be exalted in a high position, all eyes on you, but guess what? Pride, when you get prideful, that destruction, that fall gonna be big, man. It's not gonna be a little trip. You're gonna be falling all the way down. You can get destroyed. Better it is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the pride. Yeah, proud. Right? The Lord says it's better to be humble and be with the humble than to divide the riches and eat the riches of the proud. Right? Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, and verse number 6. All right. Our shepherd, or if you want to be a shepherd, you have to be meek, because our people are lost and they need one. Right? This is Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 6. My people have been lost sheep. So we are the lost sheep. Our people are the lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. Right? Because what is our shepherds doing now? Who do our people look to for shepherds? Them blank red, right? Them scissor. Who else? That's our women. Their women look to them, to those women. Who else? Them Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, LeBron James. They look to these men and women as shepherds, but our shepherds really cause them to go. I mean, where's our councilman? Where's our officials? Right? Where's our so-called senator at? All right. Our shepherds haven't did anything but led us astray. TD snakes, right? Damn, who else? Right? All of these Christian pastors that just, that's teaching for hire. They don't teach our people anything. That's why our people has been lost. But now, we're the last hope for our people. We are the last hope for our people. We tell them the truth. We come out the Bible. We love our people. We show love to our people. We give back to our people. Right? We do alms, charity. We breaking down the scriptures for free. We're not charging them $19.99, right, for a breakdown. And they get a bonus package if they buy 2 breakdowns. We're not doing that. Right? And it says they have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. And they forgot this resting. This is the resting place. This is the chambers, our mother's house. They forgot this. We had a brother yesterday tell us at camp that he's Buddhist. He believes in the law of cause and effect. That is, what the hell is that? That's not our resting place. When the Lord say believe in the law of cause and effect and be a Buddhist and go to a Buddhist temple, they going mountain to hill. They over there in Moab territory looking for Buddhism. They over there in Elam territory looking for what? Ganesh, Shiva, right? The damn God with the 16 arms. They going over there in Esau territory to what? Science, Greek mythology, right? What's that religion called? Where they believe in geometry and shapes and things like that. I forgot what it's called. Right? Basically, everything got a geometry to it. Everything's symmetry. And they believe in that. They've gone mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. That's why it's our job to be shepherds. Right? That's why it's our jobs to be shepherds. Right? Let me go to Psalms 23:1. Let's see how and the great example of being a shepherd is how the Lord treats us. Right? Let's go to Psalms chapter 23 and verse 1. And it says, He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. And what are the waters? Through the Spirit. If the Lord leads us beside the still waters, we have to lead our people doing the same thing. We have to bring them to the waters. We go to Ephesians chapter 5 and verse number 26. Because what is the waters? That is sheep love water. Right? It's Ephesians 5 and 26. Slocky. All right. Ephesians 5 and 26, that he may sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. So the words of the Lord is that water. We're being led to that water right now, if you in this truth. Now it's your job to go get another brother, another sister, to lead them to that water through the Spirit. Let me go back to Psalms chapter 23 and verse 1. All right, that's what King David is saying. He's being led to the waters, the still waters, not the mighty rushing waters. Right? Verse 3, he restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. We keep seeing that word lead, man. Right? In the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. So what does that mean? We have to lead others in the paths of righteousness for their name's sake, for the Most High's name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Right? That understanding. Your cup running over with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. All right, what you got, a king?
You go to the book of Micah, chapter 3, and verse number 1. This is the book of Micah, chapter 3, and verse number 1. It says, And I said, Hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel. Is it not for you to know judgment? And when you read the book of Micah, chapter 3, and verse number 3 on the whole chapter, right, talk about leading your people. Talk about wicked leaders, sinful leaders, people that just use and abuse our people. Right? You see that in the truth now. Right? Like the brother said in the damn comment board, buy 2 breakdowns, get 1 free. Right? Or you got damn Black Lives Matter. They just using your people, right? The Black Lives Matter leaders, and they was scamming y'all. They was scamming y'all buying mansions and cars, and then using Black Lives Matter to do tax write-offs, right? It says, "Who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off the skin from off them and their flesh from off their bones. Right? So these leaders, right, these wicked leaders, they hate the good. They hate to show righteousness. They hate to lead by example. Right? It says they love the evil. It says they pluck off the skin from off them. Meaning they just taking off our people, taking off the skin off our people, just peeling skin off of them, killing them, giving them scabs, giving them wounds, just destroying them more and more and more. Well, I mean, we already oppressed. How can you just continue to just break down your people more by more, day by day? Right? It says, in the flesh from off their bones, who also eat the flesh of my people and flay their skins from off them. They break the bones and chop them in pieces as for the pot and as flesh within the caldron. Then shall they cry unto the Lord, but he will not hear them. He will even hide his face from them at that time as they have behaved themselves ill in their doings. Right? And if you're not leading your people, you just using them, you just abusing them, and he not going to hear any of your prayers. The Lord not going to deal with you. Right? He don't got no need for a sinful man. The Lord don't want to hear that, man. Right? You're not trying to lead in sincerity. You're just trying to get by. Just do whatever you can to get by. That's the spirit that people used in the world. Right? That's all against the commandments. Right? Just like all of our commandments, like what's a commandment? You got the landmarks and all that.
Right.
You got people that do that now. Right? You go away for a while, then you take some of their land, you put your landmark right there and just get back over them. Say, no, I mean, you probably just forgot, bro. It's been 7 years. You might have just, forgot how much land you had, right? But the reason you're supposed to lead your people is because you have the spirit of the Most High. You have this truth. You have understanding. You have knowledge. You have wisdom, right? Let's go to verse 8. Right? It says, but truly I am full of power by the Spirit of the Lord and of judgment and of might to declare unto Jacob his transgressions and to Israel his sin. Right? Because you have the Spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? You could teach your people their sins. You could give out judgment, right? You could lead your people. You could show them the way in righteousness. You could get them on that straight and narrow path. Yet these sinful leaders, they getting them on the wide gate. Hey, like, nah, you kind of just hop around the doctrine. You could still be kicking it with people in the world and just smoking weed and doing whatever you want, man. You just gotta repent. You got grace, right? That's what's destroying our people. Sinful leaders. It's not enough righteous leaders in the world right now. It's not enough righteous leaders over Israel right now. That's probably why we not back yet, because we don't have enough righteous leaders sealing the elect, right? Instead, they just plucking off the skin, using them, abusing them, and destroying them. Right? Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 10, and we're gonna start at verse number 16. Right? That is not the precept. Damn. That is the precept. This is Luke 10 and 17. It says, and the 70 returned again with joy, saying, even the devils are subject unto us through thy name. He said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. Right? So you have the power, right, to help your people overcome demons, help them, right? You see it all the time. You see brothers that was smoking weed, smoking crack, they repent and come into the truth because you had a righteous leader, right? Somebody that was a good shepherd, right? Somebody that was willing to give their life out, right, and go on the highways and byways and teach. Right? You got that kind of power, so why would you want to abuse that? That goes into the talents that the Lord gave you, right? When you read in those parables, right? Why wouldn't you want to use that talent? Why wouldn't you want to use that gift? Because if you don't use it, I mean, we already know what's gonna happen. He gonna take it from you. He gonna give it to somebody right that's way better than you. That's gonna be profitable to this truth. So it's about being profitable to the truth as well, right? I just want to get this one quick precept. This last one, this Judith 8 and 24. When you get there,
Oh,
right? Because your people, they need you. They don't need any more wicked leaders. They don't need no more TD Jakes. They don't need no more Black Lives Matter. They don't need no more bug out Israelites. They don't need no more damn Jay-Z's and Beyonce's and Nicki Minaj and Meg Thee Stallion. They don't need no more of that. They don't need no more Sexy Reds. They don't need no more Drakes. They don't need that. They need a Israelite that is keeping the commandments in sincerity and wants the best for their people. Right? That's what our people need. Right? This is Judah 8 and 24. It says, now therefore, O brethren, let us show an example to our brethren, because their hearts depend upon us. And the sanctuary and the house and the altar rest upon us. So, hey, your people depend on you. You got a chip on your shoulder, right? Your people depend on you the same way your kids depend on you to damn pay the rent, to damn get them something to eat at night. Right? They depend on you to lead by example. They depend on you to keep the commandments. They depend on you to help them overcome spirits, give them wise counsel, lay down judgment. They depend on that. So this work, it's not going in vain unless you make it go in vain. Right? He said the altar rests upon us. Right? So your people, hey, you just carrying them on your back like LeBron. Like LeBron did the damn Cavs in 2018.
Yeah. Yeah.
You carrying them on your back. And if you don't, you know, if you don't really damn, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, right? But if you ain't taking heed to that and you don't want to acknowledge that, then you gonna get sifted out the truth, right? Brothers got it.
That's right. And like and like you said, the most I will replace you, the most I would give that management job. Remember, it's a management job. It's not something. Even if you're a sister, ain't you supposed to Titus chapter 2 and verse 3, right? You got to be being a good example to the and teach the younger sisters through the Spirit, man. Whether you have a daughter, right? Whether it's another sister that come to you for counsel, you brothers that have families, you got to teach your children. You got to teach your rib. Brothers be wanting 1,000 ribs. As soon as you come to, I want a rib. Or I gotta give me a wife, brother. You got to teach her. Or all hell gonna break loose in your household, man. Right? You got to teach yourself. You have to be willing to be taught. This is a management position. And guess what? The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua will fire you and give that position to another. They do that in the world. Right? Look, you didn't hit the monthly quota. Unfortunately, we gave you 2 warnings. All right, this will be your last week at such and such company. Here's this brown, and like the brother said, here's this brown box, and you can go clean out your locker. We'll check it, if the locker is clean or not, and then you can be on your way. Your last check is going to be on the 18th. Have a good day. All right, please get out of my office. That's what they would do. Please get out of my office. The Lord will kick you out his. Please get out his truth. Let me go to Numbers chapter 20 and verse 27. Start verse 26. Right, and it says, I'll start at verse 24. And it says, I start verse 23. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in Mount Hor by the coast of the land of Edom, saying, Aaron shall be gathered unto his people, for he shall not enter into the land which I've given unto the children of Israel, because you rebelled against my word at the water of Meribah. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son and bring them up into Mount Hor. Why are they on a mountain? Why are they on a mountain? For what? We're going to see. And strip Aaron of his garments and put them upon Eleazar his son, and Aaron shall be gathered unto his people and shall die there. And Moses, so not only does he have to give his garments to his son, right? But hey, he's going to die there too. Right? And Moses did as the Lord commanded. They went up into Mount Or in the sight of all the congregation. You thought they did this in private? You thought they said, all right, Aaron, just meet me, when everybody go to sleep, just meet me and we just, I'll give you a garment to your son so nobody gonna know. I wouldn't do that to you in front of everybody. The Lord said, I don't give a damn, man. Show everybody what the hell is happening. Hey, and guess what? Aaron, you're not going up to see the land. You're gonna die, and then you're gonna get those garments to your son in the sight of all the congregation, man. I mean, imagine how you felt. Imagine that shamefulness he felt, man. The Lord will make you an example. Keep playing with the Most High as a shepherd. You in his management position, guess what? You got these CEOs that kill themselves, man. I think that, hold on, let me see. All right. Bed Bath and Beyond. Right, look. It says, Bed Bath & Beyond executive. This is a CEO of Bed Bath & Beyond. Right? $1 billion company, I believe. Right? Jumped to his death from high-rise to apartment balcony. Law enforcement tells CNN a man who jumped to his death from a high-rise apartment in Manhattan has been identified by the New York Police Department as Gustavo Arnault. This man jumped to his death. He got replaced. And he said, and everybody knew it. That's a big company. Even all the employees. That's embarrassing. Your wife got to find out. Your kids find out. Dad lost his job. Bed Bath and Beyond CEO. It's probably everywhere. It's on CNN. And this man killed himself. Probably had a family. Probably had children. Probably had a dog that he thought he cared about. Probably got a house and a mortgage. Right? Living in some Edomite neighborhood. Yeah, I mean, he jumped to his death at that. And these, hey, that shows you the Most High will do that to you. The Most High will put you inside of all the congregation, right, to make you ashamed. In verse 28, and Moses stripped Aaron of his garments and put them upon Eleazar his son, and Aaron died there on the top of the mount, and Moses and Eleazar came down from the mount. And when all the congregation saw that Aaron was dead, they mourned for Aaron 30 days, even all the house of Israel. So everybody seen that thing. That wasn't a secret thing that happened. All right, let's go to 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 15 and verse number, start at verse number 23. Right? Actually, start at verse 22. Not 23. Come on. For rebellion is as the sin of which. So Saul just went off for the second time. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry, right? Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he have also rejected thee from being king. So the Lord rejected this man from being king. The ultimate shepherd over the people took his position, took his management position, gone, right? And Samuel said to Saul, I have sinned. So he tried to repent, right? For I have transgressed the commandment of the Lord in thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice. Now, therefore, I pray thee, pardon my sin and turn again with me that I may worship the Lord. Right? But let's see what he said. And Samuel said unto Saul, I will not return with thee, for thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord have rejected thee from being king over Israel. That is, it is what it is. He said the same thing. It is what it is. No, I'm not pardoning your sin. I'm not going with you. You stay here. I'm going that way. Verse 27. And as Samuel took, see, I understand Samuel probably hot right now. Like, what are you doing? And as Samuel turned about to go away, he laid hold upon the skirt of his mantle in a rent. And Samuel said to him, the Lord have rent the kingdom of Israel from thee this day, and have given it to a neighbor of thine that is better than thou. The Lord gives the Lord can raise up stones for prophets. All right? You're blessed to be in this truth and be called to be a manager of the flock. Right? Whether you're a woman, whether you're a man, a sister, a brother, it don't matter. You in this thing. So you have a responsibility, or the Lord will give it to somebody that's better than thou in the sight of all the congregation. Right? We can go to the book of Proverbs 27:23. So what we got to do? Right? What do we have to do? We're at Proverbs chapter 27 and 23. Right? What does the Lord say we got to do? It's Proverbs chapter 27 and 23. Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herds. What does it mean to be diligent? Right? What does it mean to be diligent? Right? The Lord said what? Constant in effort to accomplish something, attentive and persistent in doing anything. So the Lord said we got to be attentive and persistent to know the state of our flocks. Meaning we always got to be on top of our of knowing what's going on with our people, man. Right? And we do that now. We watch. It's called watching. Right? That's why the Lord said, look well to thy herds. You got to watch over them, see what's going on. Right? You have to do that in the ancient world. You think you can just offer up any type of sacrifice to the Most High? Right? You have to offer up a lamb of a year old, male of thy flocks, without any blemish. You have to look at your flock. You have to find a lamb that was a year old, that was a male, see if there was any blemishes on it, and then you got to offer up to them. Like, you have to know the state of your flocks. We have to do the same thing. You may be at camp. You may see a brother, right? You may say, "Oh, what's going on? What's going on with you, brother?" Right? Is everything okay? All right, you try to hop into a fast. All right, cool. Let's talk about it. Call me, after camp, and we can go over it. You may have, do some breakdowns with a brother or even a sister. She said, I'm going through this. And you may say, okay, well, let's go on a fast. Let's read together, right? So we can build that spirit back up. That's what it means to be diligent, to know the state of thy flocks. You checking up on them. You look well to thy herds. This is what leaders do. It's what managers do. right? They look well to thy hurt. Right? I'm going to Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 3. All right, get one more. Ezekiel chapter 33. I'm going to start at verse number 3. And it says, actually start at verse 1. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman. All right, so the people are going to take a particular man and set him for the watchman, right? Because they trust him, obviously. They trust that he's going to do his job, he's going to watch, and he's going to protect the people. If when he see if the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and take him not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. Right? He heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning, his blood shall be upon him, but he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. He heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning, his blood shall, okay, right there, verse 6. But if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, right? So if we're the watchman and we see stuff happening to our people, and we see the judgments and the prophecies of the Most High, and we don't want to declare, we don't want to blow the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come up and take any person from among them, he hasn't taken away his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand. So guess what? Us as the watchmen, if we're not diligent over the state of our flocks, the Lord would kill us as well. The Lord would utterly destroy us as well, because we weren't diligent to know the state of our flocks. We didn't give warning to our people from the words of the Most High. But you got it.
You go to 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse. We're gonna just start at verse number 2. Right, because even this chapter, right, it's plenty places in this Bible and even accounts that just show you and talk about leadership. That's what this truth is about, being a leader. Right, because if you get brought into this truth, you automatically become a leader. Because you're gonna wear your fringes, right? You're gonna be at work and somebody be like, "Hey, you one of those Hebrew Israelites?" I can't like last week. Damn, like I heard it 3 times. Hey, you a big Hebrew? Are you one of those black Hebrews? Are you an Israelite? Like, yeah, kind of. Right? Hey, so people see you, right? So if you ain't doing right, if you at the workplace and you doing something crazy, damn, trying to Mac game on a damn so-called white woman, I'm like, hey, ain't that an Israelite? I thought they don't mess with the so-called white woman. And you might offend that brother. He might be interested in the truth, and then he see you doing that. He like, damn, yeah, that can't be the truth, right? But let's go to this in 1 Peter 5 and 2. It says, feed the flock of God, which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind. Right? So you want to feed the flock, right? You want to feed the sheep, right? The Lord told Peter, he said, feed my sheep, feed my lambs. He told him 3 times, right? You got to be willingly. So you got to want to do this. You got to love to do it. You got to love to want to help get your people out of America. Help them turn away from evil and sin and concupiscence, right? We hate concupiscence, right? It says, neither as being lords over God's heritage, but being examples to the flock, right? So you got to be, Paul keeps telling you to be an example. The Lord tells you to be an example. Ezekiel telling you to lead the people, watch for the people. Right? He said, be an example unto the flock. Right? And when the chief shepherd shall appear, and ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. Right? And then when Yahushua come back, if you leading the people willingly, right? And it ain't no guile in your mouth, it ain't no deceit, right? Hey, the Lord gonna give you a crown of glory that ain't gonna fade, that incorruptible crown. That's the main goal. That's why brothers go so hard. Brothers don't go so hard to get views. It's just the views come with this because you got the sheep watching, right? Everybody that's in this truth, and I can't say everybody, but every sincere brother in the truth, they trying to get that crown of glory that fades not. All right, but let's go to the book of 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse number 21. It says, this is 1 Peter 2 and 21. It says, for even hereunto were ye called, because Hamashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that we should follow his steps. Right, so the Lord suffered for his people. Right, so that's an example right there. That to follow after every step. right? Hey, you damn get caught up and you get brought in front of the police. Hey, the Lord, what was he saying? Thou sayest. Hey, that's something you got to do. The Lord was fighting off the spirits in the wilderness. Hey, that's what you got to do with the scriptures, right? The Lord was being a good shepherd unto his people, right? It says, who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth, right? So, hey, the Lord didn't sin, right? Now we know brothers and sisters gonna fall. It's gonna happen. You're not Yahweh Shai, right? But hey, the goal is to eventually become perfect, right? Meaning you gotta get closer and closer to no sin by the time the Lord comes back, right? It says, and who when he was reviled not again. When he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him that judgeth righteously. Right. So he ain't get carnal. The Lord didn't get carnal with man when he was going through everything he was going through. Right.
That's right.
No, he didn't get carnal when he was going through everything he was going through. He wasn't like man. Right. He committed himself unto him that judges righteously. The Lord, the Most High, is the one that judged righteously. Man just perverts judgment to get his way. That's what Pontius Pilate was doing. He was perverting judgment. He knew the Lord wasn't. He knew it. He said it that the Lord wasn't. That the Lord wasn't evil, basically, right? But he still killed, man. So that's why the Lord had to commit himself unto somebody that judged righteously, and that's the Most High, right? He said, right? It says, who his own self bare our sins in his body on the tree, that we, being dead to sin, should live unto righteousness, by whose stripes ye were healed. For ye were as sheep going astray, but are now returned unto the shepherd and bishop of your souls. All right, so the Lord did everything to help you be returned unto the shepherd, right? Because we was going astray. And our people still going astray now. So why wouldn't you want to go hard for your people? Why wouldn't you want to lead your people and be that shepherd like Yahweh Shai? Why wouldn't you want to follow in his steps? Because our people being led to destruction right now. 2/3 of our people, that's a lot of people. It's a few billion. That's a whole lot of people that's gonna die because they're gonna be the sheep that went astray. Right? But you got it out.
Coming out on my question, I know you just came in, but yeah, we just going over, being a shepherd or or a follower. You know what I'm saying? Are you a shepherd? You're a follower. We're actually both. You know what I'm saying? We lead, but we also follow Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And we're going into the tendencies and the traits of what it means to be a shepherd, to be a manager, to be a leader. Right? What do leaders do? They pray. They pray for their people. Right? Look at 2 Ezra chapter 12 and verse 46. They pray for their people. They don't just pray for themselves all day. You think Yahweh was up in the mount all day just praying for himself? He went up all night just to pray for him. That's why people, brother, you pray for yourself. You always asking the Lord for something, right? You never pray for your brother, right? You never pray for your sister, right? You never pray for, for none of your family, none of your brothers in this truth. Brothers be sending you prayer requests, and you look at it, you say, pray for him. You throw your phone at the wall. That's stupid. What are you doing? What did Ezra do? It's 2 Ezra 12 and 46. Be of good comfort, O Israel, and be not heavy, thou house of Jacob. For the highest hath you in remembrance, and the mighty have not forgotten you in temptation. As for me, I have not forsaken you, neither am I departed from you, but I am coming to this place to pray for the desolation of Zion. How often do you pray for the desolation of your people? How often do you pray for the sins of your forefathers? Do you only pray for your sins, or do you also pray for the sins of your fathers as well? Right? And that I might seek mercy for the low estate of your sanctuary, man. So Ezra, he was praying for his people. Ezra was watching out for his brothers and his sisters. He was a watchman for his brother. All right, I'm going to the book of Luke, chapter 22. All right, in verse 31. All right, I think he keeps kicking the brother out. The brother here. All right, come. It's Luke chapter 22 and verse 30. All right, and it says that I start verse 31. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan have desired to have you that he may sift you as wheat. Right? So Satan wanted Peter. Satan was sifting out Peter. Satan was trying to come upon Peter, man. So he wanted Peter like wheat. And Yahushua seen that. How would Yahushua know if he wasn't watching out for that? If he wasn't watching out spiritually for his brother, if he wasn't watching over his spirit, if he wasn't watching the way Peter was moving, right? If he wasn't watching, his countenance, he how would he have known that? But Yahushua was watching over his brothers in the spirit. But what did Yahushua do? But I have prayed for thee. That's what a shepherd does. I have prayed for you already, that thy faith fail not. Notice how he didn't say, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for you. No, he said, I already did it. I already prayed for you. I'm just letting you know Satan wants you, but I already prayed for you, brother, that your faith doesn't fail. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. And guess what? When you converted, when after I pray for you and you made whole, then do the same thing for your brother. Didn't the Lord pray for us as a nation? Didn't the Lord die for us as a nation? Right? Then guess what? Now it's time for you to strengthen your brother. Pray for your brother. Pray for your sister. Right? Just don't pray for me all day, man. Right? You have to understand that. You got to pray for your people. Right? Let me get one more precept. Daniel chapter 9. All right. Daniel chapter 9. And I'll start at verse. Let me see what I want. Let me start at verse 7. Let me start at verse 13. Right. This is a prayer. This whole chapter, when you start at verse 7 all the way down, is a prayer for the desolation of Zion, man, and for the sins of our forefathers. Right. I'll start at verse 9. And it says, to the Lord our God belong mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our God. He said, neither have we. He didn't say them. He said we, to walk in his laws, which he set before us. These inclusive terms. By his servants, the prophets, yea, all Israel transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon us in the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him. Right. Also, he have confirmed his words which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven have not been done as been done upon Jerusalem. So he's praying for his people, man. He's praying for the sanctuary. He's praying for his people of the land. Right. Let's jump down to verse 17. Now, therefore, O our God, hear the prayer of thy servant. So he said, hear my prayer and his supplications, and cause thy face to shine upon the sanctuary that is desolate for the Lord's sake. Oh my God, incline thy ear and hear, open thine eyes and behold our desolations in the city. So he's not just praying for himself, he's praying for his people, which is called by thy name. For we do not present our supplications before thee for our righteousness, but for thy great mercies. Right? Come, you got it.
Go to the book of Psalms 122 and verse number 6. Right? Because David did that. Paul did it. Daniel did it. Ezra did it. They all did it. Right? They all prayed for their people. Right? You can't just pray for yourself. Or you got to pray that people get up out of here. Even if you don't make it to the kingdom, you got to be praying, hey, Lord, if I don't, even if I'm the 2/3, Lord, get my people out of here. Help judgment get speed up the judgment, so that my people could be at peace. All right, this is Psalms 122 and verse number 6. It says, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. So David prayed for the peace of Jerusalem. Right? He didn't want Jerusalem to just be getting down attacked all the time, always at war, always wickedness in the land. He was praying for the peace of Jerusalem. So that's what we got to pray for. We got to pray for it, because there's no peace going on. We see murderings every day, raping, molestation, damn kidnappings. Right? We see all kind of madness. Damn broken up marriages, adulteries, broken hearts. Right? So we got to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Peace be within thy walls, and prosperity within thy palaces. For my brethren and companions' sake, I will now say, peace be within thee, because of the house of the Lord our God. I will seek thy God. He said, for thy brethren and thy companions' sake, he's gonna be saying peace. All right, so that's important, right? You can't just pray for yourself. Right? That's what a leader does. And David, he was a mighty leader. He was the king of Israel, one of the mightiest kings, one of the kings that weren't defective when you read Sirach, the 49th chapter, right? He wasn't a wicked king, right? Even though he fell, he got back up and he did what he had to do for his people. Go to Philemon chapter 1 and verse number 3.
Uh, uh,
All right, this is Philemon chapter 1, verse 3. Grace to you and peace from God, our Father, and the Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. I thank my God, making mention of thee always in my prayers. So when Paul was praying, he was always making mention of Philemon, making sure Philemon was straight through the Spirit. Hey, your brothers might need you through the Spirit. They might be like, man, I'm dealing with this and that. I just don't know if I can make it, man. Right? You should always be making mention of them in your prayers. Right? And that's some people you might have to work on. Right? Not everybody is prayer like they might not. That might not be their gift. Right? But that's something you want to, try to obtain. Try to set a that's something I try to do. Right? Try to set a schedule like I'm gonna pray for these brothers this much this week. Right? And then it's gonna increase over time. Right? So he said, making mention of thee always in my prayers. Right? Go to First Thessalonians. Actually, go to First Timothy chapter 5 and verse number 5. Right? Going for the sisters.
that's right.
Right? And also after that, I got another one too. Right? This is First Timothy chapter 5 and verse number 5. It says, now she that is a widow indeed and desolate trusteth in Yahweh and continueth in supplications and prayers night and day. Right? So even sisters could be mighty leaders. Right? You had Anna, right? You had Deborah, right? You had Phoebe, right? You had Elizabeth, right? You had Mary, right? They all was praying for their people. They were doing righteous works, right? She said making prayers night and day, right? So sisters got to pray for their people night and day as well, right? Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 2. Slovakia. Luke chapter 2 and verse number 36. Yeah.
Luke 2 and Slovakia.
Right? It's not enough to just keep the commandments. I mean, because these are all commandments. So if you saying I'm gonna keep the commandments, that's enough. I mean, you're gonna pray for your people. I mean, you're gonna lead your people. All right, this is Luke chapter 2 and verse number 36. It says, and there was one Anna, a prophetess, the daughter of Phanuel of the tribe of Asher. She was of great age and had lived with an husband 7 years from her virginity. And she was a widow of about 64 and 4 years, which departed not from the temple, but served God with fasting and prayers night and day. And she coming in that instant gave thanks likewise unto the Lord and spake of him to all that looked for redemption in Jerusalem. So she prayed night and day for Jerusalem, right? For the redemption, right? To be redeemed from their evil, from their sins, right? Like the brother was saying, you got to pray for your father's sins, right? Your forefathers. So Anna was doing the same thing, right? So I mean, it's not enough to just, like we said, just keep the commandments, but you got to do all these things. The Lord looks at all these things, right? He want to see if you actually care for your people. If you're gonna go to this extent or that extent, right, to help further the gospel, right? But brother got it.
Uh, you got some more, Ross?
I got some. My internet keep going out, but I'm gonna bring this out real quick. You go to Tobit chapter 3 and verse number 3. I don't know if a brother brought that out already.
Seem like all of our internet's lagging, man.
Stay.
Yeah, this is the book of Tobit chapter 3 and verse number 3. It says, "Remember me and look on me."
His Wi-Fi just went out again.
Yeah, it probably went out.
Damn.
That's cool. Brother will come back in here. I'll read it for him. It's Tobit chapter 3 and verse 3. Remember me and look on me. Punish me not for my sins and ignorances and the sins of my fathers who have sinned before thee. Right? I'm pretty sure the brother's going to say that Tobit prayed for his fathers as well. Tobit prayed for his forefathers. that, and not just him, but the fathers and the mothers before him that sinned against the Most High. Tobit did that. You know, for they obey not thy commandments, wherefore thou hast delivered us up for a spoil and unto all captivity and unto death, and for a proverb reproach to all the nations among whom we are dispersed. Because not only did one, you know, the Lord didn't select certain people in Israel to go into slavery. All right, so most of y'all get to dwell in the land, but you guys sinned against the Lord. Nebuchadnezzar going to take you 13 men and put you on slavery. The Lord didn't do that. The brother back. Are you back, King?
Yeah.
I'm
trying to connect to. No, you got it. I got a quick precept up you done right there.
All right, Con. So yeah, the Lord is in hand select men to go into slavery. The Lord, guess what, put our whole nation into slavery, right? For what we have done. And you have certain men that didn't go off. You have certain men that probably didn't sin. That was perfect, right, in the eyes of the Lord. But our whole nation went into slavery. So we have to pray for it. You got it.
You go to not my screen too. You go to 2nd Esdras 5 and verse 32. My screen went out again, so I don't know if that's up or not. But this 2nd Esdras, you got it up here? I can't really see it. This 2nd Esdras chapter 5 and verse number 32. It says, and said unto me, hear me, and I will instruct thee.
Brother, keep going now. That's Satan, man. That Wi-Fi, man. Jake and his Wi-Fi. Right? Nah, man. It's a lot of spiritual activity going on, man. I stop this. Trying to stop our people from learning how to be shepherds, how to be leaders in Israel, man. You know? All right, when the brother come back, I'm gonna get a precept real quick. Let me go to the book of Nehemiah, chapter 8 and 8. All right. Lord willing, the brother get back in here. Actually, I'm going to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6. All right, it's Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 1. And it says, hear therefore, O you kings, and understand. Learn ye that be judges of the earth. The kings, the managers, understand that you judge the ends of the earth. Right? You're giving judgments. Right? Give ear that rule the people, the shepherds, and glory in the multitude of nations. For power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty of the highest, from the highest. Do you understand that? Right? That power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty. What is sovereignty? Let's look up that word sovereignty. Salaki for the spelling. All right, there we go. All praise to the Most High. Right? It's sovereignty, supreme power or authority. The Lord will give brothers in that day supreme power and authority, man, amongst the nations. The authority of a state to govern itself or another state, right? A self-governing state. But ultimately, the Lord will give you dominion, jurisdiction, power. I mean, brothers want that in the kingdom. Brothers don't want, as we always put, you get 9 slaves. You got 9 slaves. 4 of them buck up against you. 2 of them sleep all the time. And 3 of them, 3 of them lame, right? They missing stuff. They missing body parts, right? And those are your 9 slaves, right? No, brothers want sovereignty over kingdoms, rulership over 10 cities, 5 cities, right? Brothers want rulership. Brothers want sovereignty. So the Lord is giving you counsel. He said, look, for verse 3, for power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest. Who shall try your works and search out your counsels? Because being ministers of the king of his kingdom, remember, it's not your kingdom, it's his kingdom, right? You have not judged aright, nor kept the law, nor walked after the counsel of God. Horribly and speedily shall he come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them in high places. So, hey, you in a high place. Once you come into this truth, The Lord rose you from the dust, from the dunghill, and set you among princes. That's 1 Samuel chapter 2 and verse 8. The Lord did that. Now you're in a high place. Guess what? The Lord said, horribly and speedily shall he come upon you. For mercy will soon pardon the meanest, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented. So keep playing with the Most High. All right? You are in a high place, right? Given to you by the Most High. Go to Zechariah chapter 11, verse 7. All right? The book of Zechariah, chapter 11, and verse number 7. What the Lord say to these shepherds? This is Zechariah 11 and 7. And I will feed the flock of slaughter, right? Even you, O poor of the flock. And I took unto you. It's like, is that what I want? 11 and 17. That's what I want. Zechariah chapter 11 and verse number 17. Woe be to the idle shepherd that leaveth the flock. The sword shall be upon his arm and upon his right eye. His arm shall be clean, dried up, and his right eye shall be utterly darkened. So this is coming to the idle shepherds, the men that are in leadership positions that are idle. They're not busy. They don't have any work to do. They have no work to do for their men, for the men under them that they're overseeing. They leave the flock. They leave it unattended. What do you think is going to happen if you leave the flock unattended? You will have grievous wolves. So the Lord said, guess what? So since you want to do that, I'm going to bring the sword in your arm and your eye as well. The Lord will cut out your eye and cut off your arm. And it should be clean, dried up. The Lord said clean, dried up. All right? The Lord not playing around. He talking stuff. So keep leaving the flock. Right? The Lord's judgment are going to be to them in high places. We get one more. What is it? Look at Sirach chapter 10 and verse number 1. This is Sirach chapter 10 and 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. So if you're a wise judge, you're going to instruct your people. Your government is going to be well ordered through the Spirit. Right? It's not going to be any confusion or madness. Verse 2, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So the way you are as a leader is the way your officers are going to be, is the way is the way that the people are going to be that live in your city. That's how the people are going to be. If you walk uprightly, the people walk uprightly. If you make laws about keeping the commandments, right, and if they breaking laws and you enacting judgment on those people breaking the laws of the Most High, guess what? The people are gonna, they're gonna walk uprightly and righteously before the Lord. But if you're out of order, if you're confused, the people are going to be confused. Just look at America. Look at America's so-called leader. All right. Look at America's so-called leader, and look at this country itself, and all the leaders of the known world. My brother's got it.
John, I got a quick precept. You go to 1 Esdras 4 on that point that you just made. Right. So whatever spirit that the head is in, that's what the same spirit is going to be within the rest of the body. Right. 1 Esdras chapter 4 and verse number, let's start at verse 2. It says, O ye men, do not men excel in strength that bear rule over sea and land in all things in them? But yet the king is more mighty, for he is Lord of all things, and hath dominion over them. And whatsoever he commandeth, they do. If ye bid them, it's like it says, if thee bid them make war, the one against the other, they do it. If he send them out against the enemies, they go and break down mounts, walls, and towers. So that's the spirit. Whatever spirit that the head is in, the rest of the body is going to be in through the spirit. So if you have a righteous king, a righteous judge, you're ruling the people righteously through the spirit, your household, your brothers, your sisters, etc., then the whole house is going to be in the spirit, or the whole body is going to be in the spirit of the Lord. Real quick, you go to Sirach 27 and verse number 3, the classic. But if you're not in the right spirit, then you know that can crumble the whole house. All right. Look at Noah. I know it was righteous. Noah, he led his whole family to salvation through the spirit. Right. This is the book of Sirach 27 and verse 3. Unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord, his house shall soon be overthrown. So if you're not holding yourself diligently, your kingdom diligently, and on a deeper level, that's how you really got to look at it. You got to look at your household like your kingdom. All right, you got to look at your brothers, your congregation as a kingdom, as a body. And if you're not ruling that thing diligently, then you know the Lord is gonna overthrow that through the Spirit. Right, brothers got it.
Come on. Let me get this real quick in the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 12. Right? It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, and verse 12. And it says, it is an abomination to kings to commit wickedness, for the throne is established by righteousness. So if the throne's established by righteousness, you have to walk in righteousness. It's an abomination for a king to commit wickedness. What if you're a king and you just sitting up there lying all the time? You're gonna lose respect from people. You're a king, but you over there committing all types of manner of fornication in front of all of Israel, all the time. They're not gonna really look at you as a leader. They're gonna do what they start. They're gonna do what they want to do. If you want people's respect, honor, glory, sovereignty, and also you want all that from the Most High, you gotta walk in righteousness. That's what the throne is established by. Right? Let me get the book of Deuteronomy chapter 6 and 25. What is righteousness? Right? What is righteousness? This is Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse number 25. And it says, and it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God as he has commanded us. And as a king, you got to make sure your brothers, your sisters are walking in righteousness. You have to steer them. All right? You got to steer them, lead them, marshal, convoy, usher, conduct, guide them to the laws, statutes, commandments through the Spirit. Michael, you got closing precept?
Kind of got a closing. Go to Sirach 43 and 30. Sirach chapter 43, verse number 30. And it says, through the Spirit, when ye glorify Yahweh, exalt him as much as he can, for even yet will he far exceed. And when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength and be not weary, for ye can never go far enough. Right? And no man can never go far enough when it comes to serving the Most High. And on a deeper level, all these videos is exhortation for you to strengthen up the things in which you remain, that you may be found perfect before the Most High. So all the wisdom, the knowledge, the precepts that's coming out, you want to apply it to your life to the best of your ability through the Spirit. And remember, you can never go far enough when it comes to serving the Most High. So go 10 times harder through the Spirit. But you got it.
Cosmo, you going?
Yeah, Con, go to Sirach 4 and 20. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 4, verse number 20. It says, observe the opportunity and beware of evil and be not ashamed when it concerneth thy soul. Right, so you got to observe the opportunity that you have. A lot of men don't get this truth. A lot of men don't come into the truth. They don't get put in position to lead their people and be a shepherd. Right, so you got to observe that and really, examine like, damn, the Lord really put me in this position, man. I got to cut this off. I got to cut this hand off, this arm off, this leg off, just so that I could, help my people and get into the kingdom, man. Right? Verse 28, it says, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for you. Right? So you got to be willing to strive for this truth unto death. If you're not willing to strive for the truth unto death, why are you in the truth? Yahweh, he strived for the truth unto death. Paul did it. John the Baptist did it. hey, your forefathers was willing to die for this thing, right? So you gotta have the same mindset as them, right? Be willing to do anything you can to help the sheep, to damn further the gospel, man, right? But I yield.
That's right. That's right. So in these last days, man, you know, you want to make sure, like I said, we guiding the sheep. You know, we watching over ourselves, but we also watching over the flock, right? And we making sure that the throne is established by righteousness, by keeping the law, statutes, commandments, in the Most High. So, Lord willing, this was edifying. I'd like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua and bid a mighty strong shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.